Hello, dear friends. Patience is the calm acceptance that things may happen in a different order that you have in mind, said David Allen. Life is what happens when you are busy making other plans, said John Lennon. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams, said Eleanor Roosevelt. Opinion piece. I'm not from here. Are you a starseed? New kind of human beings. Facundo Cabral was one of them. Many people think they are not from here. Philosophical and contemplative anarchism. They are from Pleiades, Sirius, Orion, Arcturus, and Andromeda. Let's start. In quotes, I am not from here, nor I am from there. I have no age or future, and being happy is my color of identity. As the great Argentinian artist Facundo Cabral sang, his approach is difficult to pinhole. He composed songs that transcended worldwide and synthesized social criticism, satire, mysticism, Christianity, anarchism, optimism, and freedom. Facundo Cabral was murdered in Guatemala City on 9th July 2011 by hired assassins who mistook him for a businessman linked to drug trafficking. UNESCO declared him a World Messenger of Peace in 1996, and he was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize in 2008. His name doesn't sound very hippie, but he was a great teacher of hippies, idealists, poets, and dreamers. Influenced spiritually by Jesus, Lao Tse, Chuang Tse, Osho, Krishnamurti, Buddha, Whitman, Schopenhauer, John the Baptist, Francis of Assisi, and the Gandhi. He preached mysticism, the disappearance of the ego, and the self-realization of humankind's consciousness. He also loved Atahualpa Yupanqui. All these teachers are also my favorites. In literature, he admired Jorge Luis Borges, with whom he also had philosophical conversations, and Walt Whitman. This non-conformist spiritual observation was imprinted on his career as a singer-songwriter, who took the path of social criticism without abandoning his usual sense of humor. New humankind. There is a new group of humankind who are convinced that they are not from here. The starseeds are individuals who believe they have come to Earth from other dimensions to help heal the planet and lead humankind into the Golden Age, a period of great happiness, prosperity, and achievement. It may sound crazy, but if you search for this term on the internet, you will find over 4 million results, and there are many people posting videos on social media who believe their origin is otherworldly. Unlike terrestrial souls, starseeds believe they have awakened from another planet to be born here. They claim that they are conduits between the divine realms on Earth and that they can travel between galaxies through meditation. Starseeds also believe that they can communicate in a way that bypasses humankind's limitations. It is the language of the soul. Qualities. Experts in the field say there are several ways to tell if you are a starseed. This includes searching of meaning in life and feeling a lack of belonging. Being spiritual and possessing a strong sense of intuition are also qualities of a starseed. They are also said to be empathic, sensitive, and have more physical and mental health issues, as their souls are not used to having a human body. Starseeds want to help humankind, but feel overwhelmed by life on Earth and therefore recharge by spending time alone. Experts also say that starseeds have a desire to explore and experience new cultures and spheres, which help star people provide new insights into existence. Examples include alternative theories about society, holistic health interventions, along with thoughts on ancient astronaut theory. Gods of Aquarius. This idea was pioneered by American author Brad Steiger, who wrote prolifically about the unknown and was very interested in extraterrestrial life. In his 1976 book, Gods of Aquarius, Steiger introduced his notion that some humankind came from other worlds. Steiger wrote that he believed Atlantis was a real place. In his book Atlantis Rising, he argued that it was home to an all-powerful civilization with sophisticated technological achievements. He was an advocate of the idea of ancient astronauts. Steiger claimed that many humankinds are descended from extraterrestrial beings. He referred to these beings as star people. Ancient astronauts refers to a hypothesis that intelligent extraterrestrial beings visited Earth and made contact with humans in ancient and prehistoric times. Proponents suggest that this contact influenced the development of modern cultures, technologies, relations, and humankind's biology. A common position is that the deities of most, if not all religions, are extraterrestrial in origin, and that advanced technologies brought to Earth by ancient astronauts were interpreted as evidence of divine status by early humans. Physical symptoms. Starseeds often experience sensitivity to extreme heat or cold. Either they cannot tolerate cold as much and prefer a warmer or even hotter climate or weather, or they are more comfortable in colder climates and find heat intolerable, as in my case. They may have a high tolerance to pain. They have immunity to many diseases that would easily affect others. When they rarely get sick, they can recover more quickly. Many have a strong body, and it is not uncommon for a starseed to have never broken a bone in their life. They often heal very quickly from any sprain or injury to the body. Even though they may be weak in appearance, the starseeds can have a lot of physical strength and even an inner strength at the exact moment they needed it. Starseeds find peace and solace in the natural light of the sun. They tend to have an affinity with nature, and many have a fondness for trees in particular, especially willow trees for some reason. Many starseeds feel more at home with plants and animals than with other human beings. Most starseeds, even as young adults, are night owls and enjoy staying up later than the average person. There is a peaceful sense of solitude and clarity that the starseeds feel at night. Those who sleep earlier may wake up suddenly for no reason, often around 3 o'clock in the morning. Wake up. Most starseeds are old souls and have lived several lifetimes on Earth to prepare for the time of ascension that we are in now. However, they will not know their great mission until they have had their awakening. This awakening may be instantaneous or gradual, but it always includes a dark night of the soul, where they temporarily pass through a depressive and chaotic period in their life, before rising from the ashes and awakening. Most of the starseeds on Earth are from the Pleiades, Sirius, Orion, Arcturus and Andromeda. You might think it rather unlikely that you are one. However, starseeds are not rare. There are billions of starseeds on Earth today, and the fact that you are listening to this now makes it more likely that you are one. Now the news. Breaking news. Economy. Credit Suisse bailout creates a bank twice the size of its economy. The Bank of England raises interest rate to 4.25%. UK government debt hits 30-year high in February 2023. Banks are taking on debt at financial crisis levels. Banks face imminent credit risk according to the Financial Times. The Fed may tighten monetary policy to fight inflation. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says there is a risk of economic and financial catastrophe if the debt ceiling is not raised. According to the X22 report, the electric vehicle market is crumbling, while central banks are panicking and trying to avoid the transition to gold. Millionaires will cause 2/3 of global CO2 emissions, warns a new study published in the latest issue of the journal Cleaner Production Letters. The central banks of Canada, Britain, Switzerland and the European Union have announced that dollar trading will increase from weekly to daily. What this means is that the big central banks are pumping out dollars on a daily basis. According to Mike Adams, the government declares war on cryptocurrencies to usher in the Orwellian future of the digital dollar. Ramadan begins with high prices and hopes for peace. Currency revaluation is not based on Ramadan, but when the White Hats decide they are ready for it to happen. Indonesia prepares to abandon the use of Visa and MasterCard. The Chinese yuan is gaining traction in international trade. Russia supports the use of the Chinese yuan for transitions between Asia, Africa and the Americas. Russia cuts oil extraction by 500,000 barrels a day. Finland allows the transport of Russian fertilizers detained in the port of Kotka. France. Paris is burning. Pension protests continue and are likely to get worse. Roads and railways blocked. Traffic disrupted. Strikes and protests are marking the ninth day of national mobilization in France against pension cuts. According to the General Confederation of Labour, 3.5 million demonstrators took to the streets on Thursday, while the authorities estimated that 1.5 million people took part in the protest. Spain. The Spanish government argues that eating insects is safe and promotes sustainable diet. Spain president will pay a state visit to China on 31st March as Xi tries to rally support for his peace proposal for Ukraine. The US fears the world will accept China's peace offer, according to Bloomberg. Americas. Huge mass of sargassum is heading for Caribbean beaches, southern Florida and Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. López Obrador believes that the attempt to stop Trump is aimed at preventing his candidacy. Bolivia doesn't give up its maritime claim and demands free transit to the Pacific from Chile. Paraguay also wants access to the sea. USA. California is soaked after 12 storms. California may punish oil companies for high gas prices. Multiple teams are on the scene of a hazardous chemical emanating from the biolab plant in West Lake, Louisiana. Massive explosion at the Ineos Phenol chemical plant in Pasadena, Texas. TikTok faces an uncertain future after a 5-hour beating in Congress. Norfolk Southern got train derails in Massachusetts. No hazardous materials on board, officials say. Elon Musk says Jerome Powell is very bad at his job. In quotes, this foolish rate hike will make the flight of depositors worse, he writes. The spy on employees at work increases more than at any other time in history. Nearly 7% of US workers plan to leave their jobs by 2023. US libraries see record attempts to ban books. Trudeau cites terraplanet disinformation as reason to regulate internet. Did the Pentagon shoot down a $12 balloon with a $400,000 missile? Pentagon investigates reports on UFOs shutting down nuclear warheads and firing test missiles. Microsoft's new artificial intelligence chatbot says it wants to create deadly viruses and steal nuclear launch codes. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.